Pasha Pablo, welcome. All right, so this time around, we're going to be talking about understanding the impact of payment frequency, right? Because that's what I've been studying for like the last week, aside from how to heal and all that stuff. But I'm good now. Shout out to Novant Health System taking care of your boy. All right, so let's see here. Turn it down a little bit. All right, let's get to it. So in the last video, you heard me say I'm looking to grow in project value, scale, and there's a dynamic there that I'm trying to sift through, because what it means is that the people I started off wanting to help, and you own a business, let me know how many of you can relate to this. The people I started off wanting to help the most are either the ones that give you the hardest time, or many of them have valid reasons why they feel like you may be unaffordable to them. At the end of the day, when you talk to business owners and you're talking about marketing and branding, and they're telling you their laundry list of goals and challenges, you know they need to market and brand themselves to achieve those goals and challenges. But no matter how much you know that, you can't force them to know it, right? And you can't change their circumstances. Okay? People going through things and they have to make decisions, right? Not everybody's going to take their last dollar like me and invest it into the brand, the business, go live on the street if you got to, and keep the business going, because the business is what's going to bring you the next dollar. Everybody's not going to do that. People are going to want to be comfortable. People have people they can fall back on, depend on. They're going to make other decisions because they know they have a parachute. Okay? So it don't matter your perspective. It just matters what they really want. And I say that because the alternative I came up with, if just talking to people now at the level that I'm at now, where I'm offering to serve the community for, in most cases, about $3,000 to $5,000 per application. And you can imagine, if you were talking about $50 logos, you might have 100 people in your DM, 100 people in your inbox. But who are those people, right? What kind of people are they that want to actually get a $50 logo? Knowing what it takes to produce something like that. You know what I mean? You're obviously not getting you're getting what you pay for, put it like that. Now, Pepsi paid $1.2 million for their logo. Obviously, there's some differences in thought processes and what went into the production, and why Pepsi will have a logo for the most part that lasts a long time, versus the people who pay $50, they really probably would be back, if they were honest with themselves, 6 months down the road to get a new one. But they may or may not recognize what it is supposed to do or what it actually is doing. So in this video, I'm going to confirm for you what a payment actually is. We're going to prove to you the gift and the curse. And I'm going to just show you some dangers in the road on either side so that you can make the best decision, whether you're the consumer or you're the producer. Fair? Let's go. So I was looking at it like people I was talking to 2 years ago. You know, you see the tension in them talking about putting down $1,000 one time or as a deposit. It's a lot for some people, right? It'd be a lot for many people right now. The thing is, if you're really starting a business with the intention to do numbers, you got to look at the long term, the longevity of it, and what you're going to produce by being able to put yourself in the right position. And then on top of that, I think our communities, we got too much of the easy stuff going on. And I'm not saying it's easy to do hair. I mean, I'm saying easy. I do mean easy. It's easy to do hair. And you might say, bullshit, paid 20 grand for my license and I had to go to school and do all this. Okay, I get that, right? But at the end of the day, you had to go get a license for stuff that you grew up doing when you were a kid. Yeah, you may not know the chemicals and stuff like that. Okay, I get that part. You gotta learn some shit. I'm not denouncing hair. I'm not denouncing nails. I'm not denouncing the restaurant, right? The barbecue pit. I'm not denouncing these things. I'm not denouncing the car wash service. I'm not denouncing the pressure washing service. I'm saying, where's our engineering firms at? I'm saying, okay, maybe you don't have the backing to make cars to go against Ford. I mean, we would if we all came together, right? $1 trillion worth of buying power, right? To do something in the community. Where's the electric bikes at? Where's the you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people that are in tech and software, making programs, making apps. You see what I'm saying? Like there's an imbalance, first of all. You know what I mean? There's an imbalance there. And I think once we recognize the value of metallurgy, of CNC machines, being able to shape and form metal, you know, where are our businesses doing that? That's what I mean when I say easy. Okay. Yeah, that's easy. Right? No, everybody didn't want to be Elon Musk, but where's our Elon Musk at? This is what we need more of. Okay? First of all, then what happens is you're building something that the value scales differently. All right. So here's what it is. Payments. First of all, we know from etymology that the word pay means to satisfy, especially when dealing with money, as they put it. Okay? But here's the problem with payments. When you have, as a consumer, you have spending patterns, right? And that gives you the frequency of payments, as you see there, that leads to increased spending due to the perception of more disposable income. Like you might have got more car because you only had to make payments. You know what I'm saying? And I danced that line myself, like many Americans, when it goes well, it goes well. In my, on my 10th car, it didn't. When whatever happened, it wasn't a great moment because whether it was sabotage or just some sort of natural failure, one in a million thing or something. When you get the repair bill that's $12,500, it reminds you, as bullet point number 2 says, the subjective wealth perception. So frequent payments can make you feel wealthier, affecting their well-being and financial decision making. Now I know it's a gamble. I go into things strategically, right? The car had its 90,000 mile service when I got it. It was this, it had that. Everything was done. This was running great. I take care of my stuff. In my mind, it shouldn't have never happened. But I know I was going through a court case or building up to a court case. I know I only put 5,000 miles on it in 2 years. So somewhere between those two things, just whatever, right? Because you're supposed to run the cars, and I wasn't running it like I was planning to run it, but didn't run it. All right, COVID happened. I didn't travel for business like I thought I would. Boom. So there you go. But frequent payments make consumers feel wealthier, right? Financial behavior and borrowing, right? The higher payment frequencies can lead to increased spending and borrowing, especially among lower income consumers. Now, how do you define what a lower income consumer is? Is it someone that makes $10,000 a year? Is it someone that makes $50,000 a year? Depending on what industry you're in, a lower income consumer could be someone with less than $250,000 in revenue. Planning and expense consideration. Payment frequency does not significantly alter how consumers plan for expenses or number of expenses they consider, right? As long as they can fit it into that monthly, they good. And then the broader implications is understanding the impact of payment frequencies is crucial for businesses and policymakers to inform strategies for payment systems and financial products. Now, what my interest was, because I tried this out, I've been studying for a lot longer than a couple weeks because, like I said, I want to help people. They don't have it all at once. In the past, even I broke things up to like 2 payments, normally paid in full by the time files are delivered. So I was thinking about it like, how can I help more people in the time when they need it the most, right? Because you talk to people and they want your service, they just can't afford it. And then me helping people and shortchanging myself is how you wind up on the street. You know what I'm saying? Because then you don't have nothing to pay your bills with, right? So, and then when you need help, they're not going to answer the phone, right? Forget the fact that how you help them, they not even gonna remember it. So the thing is, you gotta position yourself, right? Take care of you first. So I was waltzing with the idea, the concept of allowing people to make payments. Well, the thing is, if you want it in like 2 or 3 payments to be done, now you're still talking a couple $1,000s within a few weeks. Deposit payments, multiple thousands of dollars within a few weeks. If they didn't have it all at once, then chances are they're not going to have it all at once in the same month. So now you got to break it up into payments that are monthly that they can afford. Okay, cool. That's great for the people who are honorable. Just like anything else, right? Car payment, cell phone payment. It's great for people when they're honorable. But there's always the dishonorable people that you don't realize are dishonorable until you give them the opportunity to show you, right? Like, then you got issues, right? From trying to help people. Now you're jammed up because you were looking at your monthly allowance based on whatever, and you depend on people to remain in honor. Okay, and we know how that goes. So what happens is those who are making the payments more frequently may feel wealthier, leading to an increased spending, right? But the perception may diminish over time, particularly after several payments, because, well, cognitive overload. It's when, like, particularly after multiple transactions, the consumer starts to become more cautious or second guessing their spending decision after a certain point, such as like the third payment, which is kind of like what a great wise, experienced person, shout out Alex, shared with me, is per their research, they found it was the third payment. People started to get a little flaky. Now, the thing is, there's two types of worlds you could be in. You're either going to be in the tangible world with your products or services, or the intangible. Okay? And I want your opinion on this, because if we can help the community, then let's help them. But if 80% of these situations are going to go left, then I understand why people, go to where the people are that they need, which means that's going to create a void in the communities that I originally built this for, right? But then I'm kind of torn, because from a business owner standpoint, I gotta accept that, like I put the song up when it was myself. You know what I mean? I'm sitting up here, one of the 14 million people with annually with cellulitis. You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, how the fuck? Well, you spent some time on the street and you did this, and you're not taking care of yourself, and you cut your hand, or you went to the gym, and who knows? You know what I'm saying? So invest in some shower shoes, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, things that you didn't think of before, because you had your home, you had everything, particularly the way it was set up for you, and it was just you, and you, all the stuff you didn't have to think about, which I'll probably do another video on that, right? So, and then in the middle of you trying to dissect what's going on, because your legs are swelling up, your ankles are swelling up, you got to deal with people who's having, just make the payment, bro. Like, stop. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I got some great customers, great clients. I respect them. They're very honorable. I'm proud of them. And then you got ones that are just, it's always that one or two that it's just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So another way that I look to connect with my clients now is I think I want to start aligning with, if we can measure, if we can produce a certain level of work for the company to put them in a certain position, I think that merits some equity in the company, right? I showed you on the last video, these services are worth anywhere between $18,000 and $80,000. So I kind of feel like if I do a project for you for $5,000 without seemingly being arrogant or whatever you want to label me as, the reality is, if I look out for the people of the community, do a project for them for $5,000 up front. I think the honorable thing to do, knowing that you're putting them in a position now to be top tier in their industry, and you give them the coaching and the guidance to go along with that, the direction, the marketing, the branding to push them in front of the rest of the crowd. There should be some compensation, some consideration for performance on the back end. So I'm thinking, we do this right, 3 to 5 up front, maybe 10 up front, depending on your brand and circumstance. Obviously, if you're doing hair, you're not you're not going to be in a position. And again, it's not making it laughable. There's hairdressers out there that are making $250,000 a year, but they're rare, right? So what I'm saying is, for the average person doing hair, if you're in the ball game of doing a $3,000 to $5,000 logo, you're probably not going to be in a position to that'll probably be the best you can do. Like 1% of what business after that? You know what I mean? Who knows? However, if you are into an industry that's measurable, trackable, traceable products, stuff like that, then yeah, we could talk that route. 3 to 5 up front, 10 up front, 1 to 5% of the company. That's how I'm invested in Fire for Echo, right? So, we'll write up the contract. Contract's good in law. You sign, I sign. You know what I mean? When the paper come through, pay up or we go to court. I mean, be an honor though. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind looking at situations like that. The thing is, where was I at here in my notes? Yeah, cognitive overload. So they get to the point where they start feeling like, whatever. They just want to make it. Some of them want to make excuses. Others keep going. I respect those. Blah blah blah. Right. And I know there's a difference between making excuses and then actually not having the ability to. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to hear you paid your past due credit card. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear you paid your past due credit card when we're trying to make $700 million, and it all depends on the flow of capital into the marketing department, right? Oh, I pay your credit. Well, your credit card has a limit of $5,000, which they're going to lower as soon as you make these payments because you were late, right? So they're going to lower your limit. You're not going to have access to it. You're putting money into something that's not going to be there for you. But guess what? You'll have at best the $5,000 limit, or you could go over here and invest in the $700 million. You see what I'm saying? Like, things just don't make sense. People are just, they listen to the wrong people. If you got a business coach that come in barking orders to you, but didn't ask you any questions about anything about your current state, you might got the wrong person trying to tell you what to do if they didn't check to see where you were at before they tell you what to do. I mean, but that's common sense, right? So this is what I'm saying that messes up these payment plans with small companies and large companies alike, right? People with all different wealth lessons. They started, things are different than when they started. They start listening to people about what they don't need, whatever, boom. So the thing is, you got tangible products and you got intangible products. And here's where there's a fork in the road for the perception standpoint. Your tangible products are going to be like your cell phones, your cars, stuff like that. It's visibility, utility. Consumers can see and use these items daily, right? Now, they got perceived value. Payments feel worthwhile due to direct linkage to tangible benefits, right? You hop in your car, you go across town, you realize you spending whatever you spending per day to rent that car. I mean, to think that you own that car, right? So value is apparent and immediate, okay? Also, with tangible items, you have the benefit recognition. So consumers are easily perceive the benefit received in exchange for the payments. Okay. Now on intangible items, it's different because it's not physical, right? So the value to the wrong person, they're going to make the argument that there's a lack of immediate value. The value may not be immediately apparent post completion. This is how come you can take a person from, let's say, a website and a poorly done business plan and take them all the way through to you ready to ball out now, and then they tell you once you get them there, oh, you don't know what you're doing. I don't know this working. You know what I mean? This is how that can happen. So because they get somebody in their ear that tells them A, B, C, and D, or somebody's in the background want to tell them they can do something for free, you're charging them monthly business coaching, whatever the case may be. You know how it go. Now they want to look at the person that said they could do it for free, not realizing that free ain't gonna get you far in most cases, right? So the value may not be immediately apparent post completion. Then there's the absence of daily reminder and I keep saying for the wrong people, and I'm going to tell you why in a moment. There's no tangible reminder of the value received. Then perception issues basically is what it is. Consumers may feel they're not getting anything new or valuable, especially if payments continue after project is complete. Now that part I heard best put by Alex in the conversation, and what he was saying was, and this is where I've been at. I've been toiling over, this part for the last 7 to 10 days. This is the part I've been really trying to figure out the direction I want to take, because I'm preparing for 2025. I know it's August, but you know me. So I was sitting here, I'm thinking, like, because the way it was put was excellent. It was like when you have it's best to, what he was finding from his research and experience was that it was best to have longer gaps in between payments for greater amounts, because when you look back on it, so let's say you pay annually for a service versus a monthly. The argument was being made that when you pay monthly, well, in project management, there might be months of activity, boom, and then there might be a lull, and then boom, 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 right? Or he made an example of like, I don't know, some sort of like SEO content or something like that, right? So you made the first month, you come in, you set everything up for the client, boom, 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 you get it, hit the nail on the head, boom. Bring in however many countless people, they go out, they make 10,000 in the sales off of what you did for month 1. Month 2, whatever, they make $1,000 in sales off your activity. The argument was, instead of that person saying, oh shit, I made enough to pay for you month 1 for the whole year, what they're gonna see is, well, the first month I made $10,000 from this. The second month I only made $1,500. What's going on, right? Not realizing that if they let it ride, if they already made their money back for a whole year, everything after that is profit. Let's say it cost you $5,000. Let's say you cost them $5,000 a year. They made 10 the first month, so that means they got what it takes to pay for you for a year and $5,000 in profit. And you got them another $1,500 the second month. If they had kept that going on, shit, they might have made $200,000 or $70,000 or even $50,000 profit. It still would have been profitable. But they get in their head, somebody starts talking to them, the chicks, start saying that, blah, 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 right? And they start listening. And then next thing you know, they're telling you they want to cancel on month 2 or 3 because they're feeling like they're not getting value from their perception. And it's only because they're not looking for it. You see what I'm saying? And that's that argument. If they had saw, well, it costs 5 for a year, I'm already up 7 on top of being able to pay for them, that's value added. No, they're going to be like, well, you made 10 the first month, you didn't do but 1.5 this month. Crying. And the only reason they got you there is because they couldn't do none of it to begin with themselves. Right? But then they want so it's the irony. This is why I don't like business, because it's too emotional, right? That's why I look for people I'm looking for, because we can make it make sense and we can just go do it. And I don't want to deal with all that dumb stuff, right? Because they're the wrong, it's just the wrong people for me. It's the wrong mentality. So if you got a service that you know was done right, complete, and then on month 3 or 4 you want to start saying, well, I don't know what I'm getting. No, you already got it, right? like you already got it. Don't worry about what you're not getting, because you're not getting nothing right now, because you got it already. What it was you know, you didn't have it. so you gotta get to giving. And that's what the people need to understand. Like I said, I appreciate the ones that communicate. I have some great ones. They communicate. If there's a deviation, let you know in advance. Those are my type of people. Otherwise, they're on time, everything goes well. You know what I mean? Because that's honor. You know what you agreed to. Don't sit up here and play like you don't know. Right? So that's payments. And then that's the difference between tangible and intangible, because the tangible, the person's going to be able to be reminded of every time they hop in the car, every time they make a phone call. The intangible, a person with a logo, let's say I do a logo for them, a branding, I set them up the whole 9 yards, and I say, look, cool, put this deposit down. I'm going to be done in 1 to 3 weeks normally, unless something, maybe 4 weeks at the most normally. It's a lot of work to do, but I get it done quick. And I factor in life. Like if I need to take a mental break for a day, I don't feel guilty because I built that into the project schedule. So, however, if you do that and they're all set up, now you're completely trusting them to make, let's say they got to make 8 payments, which you wouldn't have a problem doing for them. I actually was looking at it like this from a business owner standpoint. And like I said, let me know what you guys think, because I'm trying to figure this out, how I want to proceed with this exactly, like precisely. What'll be the limitation where I want to cut off and say, I don't want to go beyond this and whatever. Because if 3 payments is going to be where everybody start to go haywire, then I need to make sure that no matter what, then 2 or 3 payments is all you get. People making 60 payment car notes, right? So I kind of know when it's something they want, they'll keep paying for it for their whole life, like a mortgage. The value is there. We know this stuff is 20 to 80,000. Pepsi paid 1.2 million. So I'm not saying I want to break up payments for you to pay $1 million over 20 years. What I'm saying is, I want to deal with real people who are really committed to what they want to do and have honor, right? But if you were to get really high value service for your logo branding and marketing as a business owner, like, would you be willing to break that up and be committed to your payments, or do you need to have collection agency calls for your logo on month 5 because you stopped paying? And then I even went as far as I'm thinking about alternatives for that, because I was like, I should get connected, which I did a little research and made some calls. I asked some questions. I contacted a couple places because I know there's places out there that will do contract financing. So if me and you are gonna do a logo project, we sign up we write up the contract, we all sign off on it, cool, boom, 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 we put down a deposit. Let's say it's $5,000 total. You put down 1,000, leaves 4,000 left. There's companies out there that would finance that 4,000. Like they would pay me the 4,000 difference minus 5, 10, some cases 15% for the convenience fee, and then the customer or client would make their pay. They'd be contracted with them too, and they would make the payments to the bank or corporation. So that eliminates the risk for me, but also extends value to the clients that otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity because they don't have the budget on the, hey, I can pay it all today type level. So I'm looking at that as an option. But I just want to, generally speaking, let me know how that sound to you, being business owners. This is a time you need to rebrand. A lot of people are afraid to spend the money. They're tight right now. Funds slow down because of COVID. But that's exactly why you need to dump the money in the brand. And go see the video I did on that about the timing of investing is now. 30%, boom, 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 grow your business just by investing in yourself now. During the recession, I'll show you the history. It's documented. Companies that do it do very well. Companies that tighten up and close everything down, they don't. So I'm just trying to push people into the right direction. But then again, you got to go against their emotions. So let me know how you feel about that. And yeah, the thing is, when you make it, it's done, it's complete, and then you're going to have a gap. If you got to make 8 payments and it only takes 1 month to do the project, there's going to be 7 months where you sit there and have the potential to feel like you didn't get nothing new, but it's because you already got everything new. And the only people who really feel that way are the people who don't know how to work the business. They're the people that you sit there, you give them the instructions. Okay, this is your logo. Look, here's all the 27 talking points designed from psychology that's in your logo. When you're talking to your customers, this is how you tie it all in. But they're not out there talking to customers. They're out there trying to meet women or meet a spouse. You know what I mean? So they're not even operating the business properly. They're not utilizing none of the strategy. They're not doing anything you taught them. And then they're sitting there saying like they don't feel like they had any value because they're not doing nothing that they're supposed to be doing with it. Kind of like me with the car that was just sitting out front and only put 5,000 miles on it over 2 years. Like that's not what it was built for. So I can't really be mad that it said, fuck you, I ain't going nowhere now. You know what I mean? Or if it was sabotaged, that would be the other side of the story. You know what I'm saying? Because it's designed to run. Your branding, your logo is designed to be out there and be active and help you bond. It's a bonding agent for you and your future clients and or just the community brand awareness. But if you're not putting it out there, if you're not talking about it, if you're not having conversations, if you're not doing none of the stuff you should be doing, right? Of course you're gonna feel like you're not getting no value because you're not utilizing it. So, stuff like that. That's what's going on. That's my like here's where we were at. To go over it again, you got spending patterns, you got subjective wealth perception, financial behavior and borrowing, planning and expense consideration, and then the broader implications we reviewed earlier in the video. And that sets you up to determine if you're going to be real or fake with it or not, right? It's easy to pay for your tangible things, cell phones, car payments, mortgages, rent. But if someone gave you an opportunity to get a $5,000 or $10,000 production, would you be willing to make payments on it that you could afford for the time period that you need? Or do you really need to have everything condensed into 2 or 3 payments, no matter what your budget, or you have to just say no for you not to get, because for me, I would appreciate that if you could, because if I have someone making $500 payments, $200 payments, $1,000 payments a month or whatever, as a business owner, that's good because it's like it's not passive income, but it's like passive income. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way I'm looking at it. So I wouldn't mind doing that if I could find people that are truly committed and honorable. But you know how that go. What looks like roses in the beginning may just be thorns. So that's my rant on that. Like I said, I am considering it because otherwise, as I increase in value, it's gonna be less people within. I'll be within reach. But like I said, I have to accept, and you have to accept in these cases that the clients, the consumer base, did it to themselves. The people that came before and was acting dumb and screwing around and causing you problems and all this shit, and made you start to realize, well, damn, I don't have none of these issues over here, or I have less of these issues over here, and I make, the values over here versus not here, they brought it on themselves. So it's what are you gonna do, right? So let me know in the comments how you feel about payment structures. Do you use payment structures in your business or brand? Tell me how you approach it. Are you selling tangible items, intangible items, stuff like that? Let's check this out, see what's going on, see what's best for the community long term. Pasha Paro.